So a funny thing happened on my way to Windows 11. Now, they tell you when you're trying to upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11, there's a few things that you need to do and take care of first. One of them is that you have to have a TPM module. That's the Trusted Point module. It has to be able to, most CPUs past the Intel 7000 series and the AMD Zen Plus series, most of those are going to have that. So anything within 3 years, you're probably fine. Otherwise, you have to have what they call a TPM 2.0 module. That presents its own problem. We'll get to that in a moment. The other one is you need to be able to secure boot. With a secure boot, the formatting of the drive has to actually be on a different format, a GPT format, instead of the old traditional master boot record. And so that's compatible with the UEFI of the motherboard and everything else and all the security protocols. So that presents an even bigger problem, or I'm not going to say a bigger problem, but even more confusion. Because if you do have an older drive, say you've got an older CPU and you have upgraded the older CPU, but you didn't even think about the drive that you're booting from, well, chances are it still could be an MBR, a master boot record drive, which means that it'll go and it'll look for the drive, the operating system first looks for where everything is set up. Oh, it's right there. That's what's going to tell me how to set everything else up on the whole system. Well, newer systems don't have that, or newer setups don't have that. It's all been integrated, and it's a different setup altogether. So that's probably the easiest way I can explain it. Your master boot record kind of tells the operating system where to look for everything, what the settings are. That might be the easiest way to explain it. Whereas now, that's not necessary. So that enables some other things to happen, hence the secure boot. So those two things have to be done. Now, if you have, like in my case, I was looking for, I had a Ryzen 7 1700X that I was going to upgrade in Danny D. My smaller one, it's got an MSI mini ITX motherboard in it. And I thought, you know what, I'll just go ahead and upgrade it here. Well, there were some issues with that. First of all, there's a bunch of different types of TPM modules, and you have to make sure that it's motherboard specific, and you have to make sure that it is an actual 2.0 module, and the price of them have skyrocketed since everybody thought, oh, this is going to be a new requirement, and so a lot of people have been buying them up. All right. The other part of that is, and we'll kind of cut to this, is trying to configure your hard drive so it boots correctly. So we're in our friendly neighborhood BIOS here, and this is an Asus Prime motherboard. So you'll be able to see one of the problems right here. Now that's the beginning of it, because you can see that the SanDisk Extreme Pro 1 terabyte has the drive, and it also has a boot manager. And then you see another thing that says boot manager. So we're going to come back to that in just a moment. But lo and behold, let's see here. Okay, so one thing I've done here is I've gone into disk management, and we have opened up, we've actually right-clicked on the C drive, we've opened it up, we're going to go to volumes. And you see right there where it says master boot record? Yeah, that's not going to fly with Windows 11. Windows 11 doesn't like that at all. So, as you can see, the other drive is a GPT. So with the GUID partition table, that's the newer style that is compatible with UEFI. That is what I'm going to have to convert to. We can ignore this right here. That's my 2 terabyte external. That's not even included in the system. But the two main drives on here, I'm going to have an issue, because now what I have to do is I have to go back and I have to try to convert that volume from a master boot record over to the other type. So I don't know if I'm going to do that in this video or not, but those are the challenges. And if it is in that master boot record, it will shut down the computer. It won't allow you to do anything. And I actually had to swap CPUs to be able to, it wouldn't clear the CMOS or anything, wouldn't help it. I had to swap CPUs and swap it back for it to come back on at all for me, so I could get to the root of the problem and try to find out what was going on. Turns out, in the notes, in Microsoft, in Windows 11, it does say that it has to be set up as the GPT type of drive and not as a master boot record. So there are a couple of different things. I'm going to try them. I don't know, like I said, if this will be in this video. It might just be me complaining about the extra steps you have to take for Windows 11, but my conclusion will be coming up. All right, so as you can see, probably it is a huge pain in the butt, and it's not as easy as they say it is, where it's like, oh yeah, just change this and change that, and Windows 11 will automatically update. No. In fact, what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm probably going to try one of two things. First of all, there are some utilities I can try to do, and I'm not going to do it in this video. There are some utilities I'm going to try to do to actually change that to a GPT drive. A C drive, it should work. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But in the case that it doesn't, the best I can hope for is to be able to make sure that all of that data, that I'm smart enough to back it up, and then I can go ahead and just do a fresh, clean install on a new drive. And then reformat the other one for, for a different day or another build. So that's what I'm looking at. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to stick, I believe that's a 1 terabyte drive that I have in there, or I've got, I do have an NVMe that I can do with 250 gig. Maybe I'll do a smaller drive and then a larger like catch-all, and then have an external that has all the games and music and everything else I want. I don't know yet. But for the time being, it looks like my first try will be to go ahead and convert. I believe there is even a Windows utility that you have to use the command line for. Or just go ahead and do a clean install altogether. That's probably my best bet. So any thoughts or anything like that? If you guys have already converted over and tried it out, let me know what you did. If you did a fresh install, or if you, whatever the deal may be, if it was easy for you or difficult for you, or if you just, said to heck with it, you're not going to upgrade it anyway. That's the only system right now I'm looking at doing it, because I'm not doing it on my editing rig. Obviously not going to do it on Danny D, because I tore Danny D all down to do some troubleshooting, but there will be a build on him coming soon. I'm going to do something really good with that. But anyway, that's where I'm at. So if you have any feedback for me, go ahead and do that. If you liked the video or found it any kind of helpful, or give you kind of a heads up on what's going on, leave me a like. If you didn't like it, of course, you can always dislike, but let me know why, what's going on. Any kind of comments, especially if you've already made the switch, not going to make the switch, had some problems, what you did to solve them, that type of stuff. And that's all I got. So until next time, folks, I'll see you later.